So the market is definitely shifting in the world of real estate, both here locally in Seattle and nationally.
This is true.
We've got some folks saying the market is up, some folks saying the market is down.
And the truth is, it's both.
It is both. Like most things that involve statistics, it just depends on what data you're looking at and how you're interpreting it.
Exactly.
We're going to cut through that for you right now. I'm Eric Martin.
And I'm Emily Austin, and together we are Austin and Martin Broker Team.
So today we're going to cut through some data. We're also going to talk about where we are in terms of the market at this moment in time, which is the middle of August in 2022. But let's talk about where we are physically right now.
We're at one of our favorite places in all of Burien, Washington. We're at Seahurst Park.
Yeah, Seahurst is just a beautiful waterfront park with old growth forest surrounding it, nice trails, dog friendly. Great place to be on a mid-80s summer evening. So let's talk about that first statement that we had, that the market is simultaneously up and down, and that is true. So how can the market be down versus up? What part of it is down, Emily?
Well, we all experienced really quite the rush during COVID times, especially in the early part of this year, and housing prices really escalated out of control, we feel,
in
the beginning of 2020.
Huge gains January, February, March, and April of 2022. A lot of it fueled by the low interest rates and also the sense that interest rates were going to be going up. So we had a lot of buyers out there trying to buy something before the interest rates went up. And then interest rates
did go up, and they went up hard.
Yeah, they went up very significantly. And as a result, if we look at month-over-month numbers for June and July, we're down. Right, so the market has come down a little bit. Median prices in the greater Seattle area, King County, down about 10% from the highs of
the early part of this year.
Of April and May, exactly.
But here's the good news. We don't always look at month after month. We look at year after year.
Yeah, so the yearly numbers are what most economists are going to pay attention to, and those are really the more important numbers because people don't buy houses and then sell them again a couple of months later. You hold on to houses for years, not days, weeks, or months. And so year over year,
we're still up.
Yeah, we're up, and most economists think we're going to continue to go up. If we take a look at what economists and the different organizations that follow this are thinking for the remainder of 2022, it's still up. So most folks predicting between, right around 10%. We've got an outlier at 16% and an outlier at 2.7%, but a pretty solid average at 10.3% is the predicted increase
home values
2022 over 2021.
But what about the recession we keep hearing about?
Well, the recession may or may not happen. We won't know that until after it's actually occurred, which is just the nature of how we gauge recessions. But what's interesting about recessions is generally, historically, home prices have continued to go up even during the recession.
That's the fascinating part, with the exception of 2008.
2008, we had a recession that was caused by the crash in the housing market. And that crash in the housing market was caused predominantly due to some really lax lending practices, which are completely gone, and
a glut of inventory.
Oversupply. So to be sure, inventory is increasing. If we look at 2021, the yearly average nationally, we were down to about 2.3 months of inventory. We've ticked back up to about 3 months nationally, but compare that to most of history where we're at around 4.5 months of inventory, the Great Recession where we were up to over 10 months of inventory. It is still
a seller's market.
Right? So the sellers do still have the upper hand in the current market. That said, we think it's a good time
to buy.
It's a much better time to buy than it was a couple of months ago when we saw rampant price escalations. We saw bidding wars on almost every house that came on. And there just wasn't much for buyers to choose.
Yeah, it was a rough time, and we're starting to feel much relief for buyers right now.
So if we look at the supply of inventory nationally in January, we had really historic low, 1.6 months of inventory. In June of this year, we were up to 3 months. Now in August, we're probably a fair amount higher than that. If we look here locally, you'll see that same trend. Lots of inventory in 2008, 2009 through about 2012. And then inventory really has been plummeting ever since.
That's a remarkable statistic or graph, I should say.
And so you see that uptick now in 2022. And if we look a little closer, just the last 3 years, again, really low numbers, down well below 1 month of inventory, which is just remarkable as we went into 2022. Yes, we're up to 2.4 months now, but that is still firmly in a seller's market.
Yeah.
So much better time to buy than it was, but still also a good time to sell. What should sellers be doing? What should they expect?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that. Sellers have to work a little harder now to present their home to the buyers. So it should be, everything should be in good shape. It should be priced reasonably, not like your neighbor got in the early part of the year. Definitely expectations that you may not get a stack of offers on review date. In fact, it may take a couple of weeks or a month to sell the property.
Recognize that buyers have a lot more to choose from, so you have to make your listing stand out as the most attractive, and that's in terms of how you position it, how you present it, how you price it, right? All of those things are going to be super important as buyers compare what you're offering to what the rest of the market looks like.
And what about our buyers? What are they up to?
Buyers should be, if the interest rates haven't taken you out of the market, which is a very real thing, and some buyers have been knocked out of the market by the higher interest rates. But this is a good time as a buyer to be able to go out and see much more inventory, have a lot more homes to choose from, and not be in these crazy bidding wars that we were seeing. So I'm Eric Martin.
And I'm Emily Austin.
Together we are the Austin and Martin broker team.
Let us guide you home.